Hey everybody, we've been getting a lot of messages, emails, calls, posts, and whatnot asking how sick week is going. Well, it's not. So we're home, and sick week didn't work out as well as anticipated. And as you can probably tell, there's not an engine in the car. So to do a little recap, we drove on down to Florida on Saturday morning, stopped at Buc-ee's, got a lot of beaver nuggets, and went to the hotel in Bradenton. It's kind of cool. The first person we saw in the parking lot of the hotel was wearing one of our sweatshirts, an HC Renovation sweatshirt, so I thought that was pretty awesome. We hung out in the parking lot, BS with a bunch of guys, and decided that we were going to try to stick to our plan. Sunday was registration, so we got there around 7 a.m., gates were open, unloaded the car, unloaded the trailer, and rode on over to registration. So the plan was to be the first car down the racetrack every day, or one of the first cars down the racetrack every day. So we got through registration, and there was a lot of cars, a lot of people, a lot of cars. Everybody was awesome. It was really good to put a lot of faces to names. One of the best parts for our trip, in my opinion, was some of you guys stopping by, either in our pits or while we were sitting in line at registration, or in the staging lanes or whatever it was, to thank me for making not these types of videos, but instructional videos. So that meant a lot. I really appreciate it. I'm glad that they were useful, or are useful. So anyway, we got through registration. We were in modified, went through tech, did all that, and switched the car over to be ready to make a pass. And we were the first car down the racetrack. I put a pretty soft tune-up in the car that I knew would go down. Didn't have much time to look at the racetrack, to make a judgment call on what I thought was, going to hold and whatnot. So I figured let's just make a nice soft A to B, make sure that it holds, and try to get some data. Clicked off a 710 at 199, and I was wanting to go 690s at 205 on pass number one, but I was just a little bit too conservative. So we ended up going 126 60 foot, which I know a lot of the drag week guys were like, man, that's flying, and all you radio guys that know us and that have raced with us and whatnot are like probably going 126. What the hell are you doing? Yeah, I had to turn way down. So came back, I pulled plugs, everything looked good. I ran valves right before we left, so I didn't feel the need to run valves. This thing's so mild-mannered that you usually don't have to. And kind of sat around, ate something, BS with some people. It was pretty cool. The first car down the racetrack on 710 at 199, the place went nuts. The announcer went nuts. Everybody was pumped. I really feel like, I know it was just registration day, it wasn't day one, but I feel like a lot of people were really amped up, and it was a good way to kick off the, the event, if you will. So we kind of hung out, ate some lunch, BS with a bunch of people, and around 3 o'clock, heat of the day, I figured sun's out, track's going to be as bad as it's going to be. Let's try to do something a little bit better, just to get a little bit more data, so that I got a tune-up that I can put in a profiler and run all week. So, the first pass we went 126 60 foot, 471 to the 8th, and then 710, 199. The next pass, side note, Sick Week implemented a 1 second staging rule. And while we were in line for tech and registration and whatnot, I heard quite a few guys kind of concerned about 1 second reaction time. It really surprised me to hear that people were really worried about having a 1 second or better reaction time. I said, what the hell are y'all doing? Anyway, Jordan was driving and he went a 008, so .008 reaction time, which is, kind of what he does, and nailed the tree. And I thought to myself, looking at the slip in one eye, I said, we ain't in a race, we ain't in a grudge race. So something kind of dawned on both of us, is that drag week, sick week, these drag and drive events, they're full of people that are different. They're awesome people. Everybody that we met was fantastic. I mean, everybody was trying to lend a helping hand. Everybody was awesome. It's different than what we usually do. We usually come to win, and a lot of people at the drag and drive events come to have fun, and they probably have a lot more fun than I do. It's not hard to do, but usually if I'm coming somewhere, I'm coming to win, and it's usually not a lot of fun. It's usually a lot of work. So I kind of actually learned that I'm kind of envious. Kind of envious that you guys have been doing this for a long time, the drag and drive stuff, and you just go and have a good time and not really too concerned about anything. So anyway, go up for pass number 2. Car leaves like it was supposed to. Goes 113, 114, 60 foot like it was supposed to. Goes 440 at 168 to the 8th. So it picks up 3/10 to the 8th. So I ain't too good at math, but it was going to run at least in the 680s. The drive shaft data was overlaying faster than its previous best in the quarter. Then we had a catastrophe, a catastrophic failure. So I'm not really going to get into the root cause of the failure, but in layman's terms, we've got a head gasket. The tune-up was spot on. The plugs looked great, but we had a catastrophic failure. So, and it'll be fixed. We'll get it taken care of, and we'll be back. And actually, this is probably really the worst news for the people that are competitive in drag week type events, because I'm really pissed off now. I'm really fucking mad. We prepped a lot for this. I thought that I had my ducks in a row. I thought that I did all the right things by having the transmission done and switched over to a 3-speed, close ratio deal, modifying the car quite a bit for the pull in a trailer and whatnot. I've made videos on that stuff, so you can watch them. And refreshing an engine that literally I flogged the piss out of that engine for years. Years. I ran them same aluminum rods for, I want to say 3.5 years. Probably about 130 passes on them. A lot of street miles. But I said, you know what, we're going to do sick week. We're going to do, 1,000 miles in a week. We're going to do, a bunch of passes in the quarter mile. Let's do the right thing. And I made a video on this, and you can watch it if you want to. And I busted ass to have it ready and to have it right. And I enlisted a lot of people for their help to make sure that everything happened in a timely manner and correctly. And I should have never touched the engine. I should have left it alone because it was bulletproof. And, it ran great. It ran great. So, either way, it's rather disheartening to know that you spend a lot of time and effort and money to try to be ahead of things, and they go south. So, but with all that said, some of you guys that may not know, this is kind of part of racing. Now, my exact problem isn't necessarily part of racing, but it doesn't matter. Because when you start getting faster and faster and making more power, you are eventually going to hurt stuff. And when you hurt things, it's not so much, who to point the finger at. It's more so how things coalesce and come together when you go to fix it. And that's the part that I'd rather focus on. So anyway, we'll fix it. We'll be back. The drag and drive stuff is awesome. At first I was a little bummed that we had to run against big block twin turbo cars, billet engines and whatnot, all because we didn't have like the right whatever, the grill opening or something. Rules that honestly for drag and drive made absolutely no sense to me in the form of like a heads-up racer. So I showed some of the rules to some of our customers and some of our friends that we race with all the time, and they're like, what the hell is this? Like, how is this classifying cars? Like, this is retarded. And I was a little bummed that we're gonna have to run against big block twin turbo cars. And then I realized that we're faster than them. So the little small block Ford with a single turbo runs a lot better than some of the big block twin turbo cars. And that's not putting anybody down, because those dudes are still out there driving and doing this race, and they're still in it. But it's motivation for me to get the car back together, get the engine back together, and gap them, because that's what's going to happen. So don't take that as an arrogant thing. That's just kind of the way I have to be in order to have any type of motivation to do shit. So anyway, so when we had a catastrophic engine failure, the shit went everywhere. Okay, the shit literally hit the fan. The fan was up here, and the shit was back here, and then the shit came out of here, and it went up there, and it hit the fans, and then it went everywhere. And there was a lot of shit. And then the shit turned into fire. And then that's some serious shit, because fire's no joke. And Jordan did a fantastic job of keeping calm. Some of y'all most of y'all probably saw the 1320 video, the in-car video. Kyle from 1320 he was a cool dude. First time I met him, he was all about this car. Threw a camera in it. He was, we talked for a while, and he got good footage of it. And the funniest part is that I had 2 cameras in it as well. One outside, one inside. I didn't know how to turn them on. I bought them. I don't even know how to turn the damn things on. I swear to God. And I was so bummed, because that was the second attempt at making them work, and we didn't even know how to turn them on. I bought the shit. I don't even know how to turn them on. Anyway, so before you guys think that I'm some type of genius, I'm not. Okay, I don't even know how to turn on the damn GoPro, or whatever the thing is I bought. So anyway, he said he got good in-car video. You can see Fireball and a whole bunch of stuff, and Jordan did a really good job of keeping it together and getting the car stopped. He did not have to deploy the fire system that was inside the car, which was a good move, because it's funny, Jordan, y'all don't know Jordan, but or some of you do, but Jordan can get like shot in the leg and be like, nah, that's all right, Bo. It'll be all right. It's all right, Bo. He's the most calm dude that I know, and I was really looking forward to having the week of him and I just having a good time. But he stays totally calm throughout the entire thing. Doesn't deploy the fire system. And in the 1320 video, you can actually hear him tell the fire crew through the window, don't spray that stuff. There's no fire. Stop it. It's out. Because he didn't want to have to clean it up. And, and his concern with not deploying the fire system was, if it was just a little flash fire and no big deal, like some BS happened or whatever, we needed a fire suppression system for the rest of the week. Because he knows that if there isn't an onboard fire suppression system in this car, it's not going down the racetrack. So fire is my biggest fear. And my biggest fear with this, biggest fear in life is snakes, but fire is the biggest fear when it comes to this. So he knew, he was calm enough to know, like, hey, we have a fire, but it looks like it's going out. So I'm not going to release the onboard fire system because we need that for the rest of the week in order to make passes. So anyway, he did an awesome job. You know, he was really upset about what happened. It wasn't his fault. It wasn't my fault. Whatever. It doesn't matter. So anyway, we get back to the pits, and we had a outpouring of support from everybody that had come by. Everybody trying to help. Everybody offering up anything they could. Within about 3 minutes of inspection, I pulled plugs. The first thing I did was pull plugs because that's what's going to tell you what happened inside the engine. And all the plugs looked good except for two, and they were wet. So well, we got a head gasket. There was oil. There still is oil. So there's oil all through here, all over the brake calipers, both sides. Well, not so much that side over there, but mostly over on this side. There's oil underneath of the car. This is all, you know, covered in oil. There's oil all over the windshield. I haven't cleaned it up yet. Under the car is drenched in oil. The rotors and calipers are drenched in oil. The rear, the driver's side rear was drenched in oil. A mist, not like heavy oil. There's a belly pan that goes on this car that literally sits from here all the way up to here. Okay, and it goes the full width of the car. And the belly pan contained 90% of the problem. 95% of the problem. And in fact, I'm pretty sure they didn't even have to clean anything up. Except spots down on the shutdown. So diapers, use them. But a diaper would not have contained anything in this scenario because of the way things broke. A belly pan did contain everything though because it hung out wider than the engine. So anyway, the radiator turned into a balloon. It's like fucking bloated. It looks like me, you know. It's all bloated out, you know. So we're gonna have to change the front brakes on the car, pads and rotors at a minimum. Once they get saturated in oil, they're kind of junk. Rear rotors and pads as well. It's just that's at a bare minimum. The radiator's gonna have to be, you know, replaced and rebuilt and fabbed to fit. And other than that, the fire didn't do any damage. It did nothing. It did no damage. It was a flash fire, shot from here up that way and down up underneath of the car. No wiring got burnt. No hoses got burnt. Nothing lit on fire. Like there's a reason there's a rag over it, but like there you go. There's the fuel feed line. You know, that's not destroyed. The fuel return line, that's not destroyed. Nothing caught on fire. You know, nothing burnt. So it was just a flash. Wasn't a huge deal. Which was fantastic. But the failure in the engine is not that fantastic. That was gonna suck. Fuck it. So anyway, we are going to we'll fix it. We'll get right, and we're gonna come out to. I think they're gonna do another sick week in the fall, and if they do, I plan on being there for that one. If not, we will figure out wherever we can go for these drag and drive events because we're coming to win, and that's all there really is to it. So anyway, this hopefully answers everybody's questions. As you can see, the engine, the blocks back here, there's cylinder heads, there's rods, pistons, a crank, a cam, it's all apart. So I got it apart. We got it apart. We got home last night around 9 or 8 or something like that, and we ate something, and then Jordan and I ripped the heads off of it last night, found the damage, and then today Laura, who is holding the camera, pulled everything else out and cleaned everything up, organized it, and kind of did an assessment on what is shit and what is not shit. And we got a lot of shit. So, yeah. If anybody I know that's on this channel that's watching is Diamond Piston person, somebody who works at Diamond Pistons, somebody who works for a company that makes aluminum connecting rods, that'd be sweet. Let me know. If you are, I get, this isn't me crying out for somebody's money, but time is the big one here. So if you got a hookup that can expedite some stuff, let me know, because I'd like to have this this old raggedy thing back together as quick as can. So, all right, enough of me blabbing and boring everybody. Go watch the Motion Raceworks live feed for Sick Week. It is turning out to be an awesome event. So, see you.